Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes.
Your voice is hanging. Hello. I think there's something wrong with your. Um, yeah, now it looks better. Can you see my screen now?
Not now. Actually, I have only a webcam. Yes, now I am Hangout. Okay, I am able to see.
Okay. So this is the document that what I do is I'll give you edit rights on this document so that you can also. So the way we will do it is I unfortunately do not have a set plan for each day. By set plan, what I mean is like today I'm free at 11, tomorrow that may not be the case. So one thing,
One thing I have request. Can you schedule me in the morning, early morning?
what time?
If it is okay for you, 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, no problem for me.
Okay, I'll see if I can do 8 o'clock. And
Hmm.
so 1 hour each day, 1 to 1.5 hours, depending on how long the discussion goes.
Mm-hmm.
And we can do it on alternate days. So let's say,
Alternate days.
yeah.
Maybe. Actually, I have only 7 8 days in the up to 31st March.
Hmm.
So I want to cover up as soon as possible.
No, that's fine. But basically, then you'll have a lot to do during your off time. So
Mm-hmm.
I can do the same
Mm,
tomorrow as well. Let me see.
mm.
So maybe the time will change a bit. So if you want early, wait a minute. Uh, 8 a.m. Okay, let's do 8 a.m. tomorrow. Um,
Okay.
so we can, so till 31st March, you want continuous days, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. But so after this session, you will have some things that I will tell you to do.
Okay.
Uh, I don't know if you will have enough time till tomorrow to do them, but that's fine. Let's see if we are able to maintain that pace. It would be good if we are able to, so that we can finish off early, can cover more ground.
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see we have to start off with is that since you need some refresher on programming as well.
Mm-hmm.
So first 4 5 classes we're going to focus on programming.
Okay. Okay.
And the good thing is JavaScript initially does not need a complete environment. So I don't know how much in the last 2 days you've studied JavaScript. First, we'll build simple programs in the browser.
Okay.
So you just need browser and a text file,
Mm-hmm.
and then uh, maybe after 2 classes we'll build actual programs that are server side, which are going to run in the node environment.
Okay.
So first thing we'll do is JavaScript and browser, then node JavaScript programs,
Okay.
and then server programs. um, so what all have you done in your JavaScript when you started with it?
Actually, I have done up to the loops type loop part.
Okay, no, so that's fine. What I meant was, have you deployed any program yet on the browser? How are you running it?
Yes. Actually, I don't know the HTML and I don't know the JavaScript. So in the 2 days, I have learned first was HTML part and then the JavaScript. Okay, so how can we write the programs in the uh, in the in, in the JavaScript as well as in the HTML. So what are the like the body content? How can we write body, head, and all these things? And then we write the simple programming in the JavaScript.
Right. So,
And we already deploy all these things in the browser. Like so, we are going to the some videos like Sarji.com in the JavaScript, which proves all this.
okay. So, yeah, you're right. Basically, JavaScript needs an environment to run.
Yes,
That environment can either be provided by the browser or
yes,
an application called Node.
yes,
So, now since you are on Windows
mm,
and I'm on a different platform,
mm,
we will have to. Uh, so, for JavaScript, Windows is fine, but for Hyperledger, it does not work on Windows.
mm,
So, one of the things that you'll have to do is um, either um, install Ubuntu 18.04
mm,
on Windows 10 dual boot, or you can create a virtual environment. So, although this is not needed right now for 4 5 hours or 7, I mean the next 7 8 hours, we'll just not do any Hyperledger. We'll just discuss JavaScript and basics of blockchain. But this is something we'll have to do eventually. So, I would suggest that see if you can either have an environment or the actual deploy for Ubuntu Linux.
actually, I have download the Oracle VirtualBox
Hmm.
and also the Ubuntu on that virtual machine,
Okay.
Ubuntu 18.04.
Okay, we'll try to deploy Hyperledger on that. Does it connect with the internet?
Yes, you can connect with the internet.
Okay. All right, then probably we'll try with VirtualBox if it works. And then what we will also need is um, Docker. So Docker will need to be installed, but then again that's our Hyperledger. We will not need it right now.
Mm,
We'll need the node environment, which we will need in next 2 3 days,
mm,
and then Docker Node.js. The problem is you will also need to understand web services, which I didn't factor in because we will be building an end-to-end application. So for web services, you can build it in Angular 2 or Node. Okay, so this is not we don't need to deploy it, but what I would suggest is can you on your own time start to read about what web services are. We'll have to study.
web services.
Yeah, this is to be installed, this is to be installed, this is already available to, this is to be tested. And these are the things that we have to discuss conceptually. So today you're saying that you're able to build browser programs. Can you show me a browser program that you built?
Wait a minute.
I can stop sharing, you can share your screen.
Okay.
Share.
share my share
Go
my
to the
screen.
top right. You will see three dots when you
Yes.
take your mouse there. When you drop it down, there's a share screen option.
Share screen. I want to share entire screen. Share.
Turn off your camera.
Huh?
So at the bottom there are three buttons: mic,
Yes.
call and camera. Just click on camera to turn it off.
Okay. Off. There is a mic. That button. There
Mm,
is a video call.
yeah, just click on the video call.
Video call. I have click on it.
Your camera is still not going away. That video call is disabled. Does it have cross on it?
Actually, I have click on the share your screen, and this is a want to share your contents of your screen with Hangout. Choose what you would like to see. Entire screen,
Yeah, click on entire screen.
and then we have to share, but it is will not click.
Okay, that's because um, your camera is still on. You'll have to turn the camera off. So that bottom uh, three buttons that you saw, the mic and all.
Mic and yes, but wait a minute. It is not visible. I think it is.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. Now you can share your screen.
Share.
You're not able to share it.
No, I am not able to share.
What happens when you click on share screen? Uh,
It is not click. Actually, I have to click your entire screen, and but it is not click.
okay, when you click on the three buttons, do you see full screen?
Wait a minute. Yes, I have seen full screen. Okay.
It will become clickable when you select the screen on the box.
I have in the three buttons. I have to share the full screen. Now, when the full screen is there, I will not show any.
Yeah, so click on that screen that shows you the full screen and then it will enable the button.
I now I have to again get full screen, and then we again the click on the full screen, and escape. Uh, I'm not able.
You're not able to share it.
No, share screen again. Share.
Okay, let me share my screen and I'll tell you what we need to do to start off a JavaScript
Wait
program.
a minute. Applications. Okay, share. Okay. Ah, yes.
Yeah,
Now you can able to see
yeah,
my screen.
yeah, now I can see it.
This is I have made the two files. One in the JS as well as one is the both are in the node format. Okay,
Right.
and this is my file. Second file where I can use the source.
So how are you running it?
This will be run in through the browser. We are using the Windows browser.
Right. So have you understood what this code is doing?
Yes, I understand. I understand. My project, I understand what is doing.
Okay.
So
So
I am using, if you see my screen Node.js, I am using the while loop as well as the all these things.
so are you able to run it in Node.js also?
No, I am not doing the Node.js. I am not doing.
Okay. Can you show me how it runs in the browser?
Wait a minute. Like that. Have you seen?
Actually, you're not sharing that part. I think you're just sharing one part, not the entire screen. So I'm just seeing your notepad.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I will again stop sharing and wait a minute. Share screen. Application windows. Entire screen. When we click on the entire screen, it will show you the share. Okay.
Yeah, I just see the notepad.
Notepad. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Wait a minute. I will show you. Wait a minute.
No problem. I can see your HTML also.
Not able to show you the web browser. Wait a minute. Okay. Allow to confirm purpose.
Yeah, now I can see it.
Now you can see my all code.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Wait a minute. This is the browser.
Right,
Okay. This way where I can use the uh, loop statement.
right.
Okay. And wait a minute. One is the JS file. This is the JS file. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And this is a actually we are using the two sources. One is one we have write this command with the script, and another we have to import from the J1 JS command.
Right.
So after that, when we deploy this, Google Chrome, then they ask prompt us like suppose we have given two numbers. Okay, so this is the
Right. So you understood what this is doing, right? It's very
yes.
simple to comprehend. Um, Couple of things. So what your browser JavaScript does is it gives you some UI elements, like you saw that document element, right? That document element is related to the browser. Then you created a prompt in which you got the input, right? That's also related to the browser. Now when we create JavaScript server side program, then there is no browser. So
Then there is no browser. Okay.
because we browser is on, so these are going to be run when you run systems like blockchain. They are going to be run as client server programs. So just like you have websites, right? You access it through the browser, but the server is somewhere else,
Okay.
right? So that server runs server side programs which run on command line. There is no UI to manage that. So JavaScript initially, just to give you some history, was built for browsers only.
Okay.
It had elements like window dot document, or directly document dot get element by ID. So then you can go into the HTML structure and fetch any element, right? Which is what you were doing there when you were. So if you go back to your code, you'll see you're creating the HTML only, right?
Okay.
In the loop, you're creating BR tags and all that. So that is being done for the browser. Now this will not have any relevance when we create server side programs. Now one thing that I want to test before moving forward is, can your VirtualBox support Node? So can you launch your VirtualBox?
I will show you. Wait a minute.
So in today's class I'm just assessing what all needs to be done from.
Are you able to see my virtual box?
Yes. Right. Now you already have the terminal open. Just click Control C.
Control C.
Right. Now type node.
Huh? Please repeat.
You type node, NODE.
Okay.
And can you remove this? Click on hide.
And then okay.
Space
Space.
minus V.
Acha, minus. Okay. You want to see. Okay.
Right. So you already have node installed.
Yes. Actually, I have gone to the Hyperledger documentation. What the Hyperledger Composer documents I do.
Okay, you've already done that. Do you want to start directly with Hyperledger, or do you want to play around with JavaScript first?
I am new. I don't know. That is why I am not able to. Which is better? You understand better.
No, see, so you've already done most of the work. I if Hyperledger is, can you type Docker?
Okay. Yes. I have already downloaded. Wait a minute.
You already have Docker. All right. Now I'm a bit confused how we should approach this. My plan was that we'll build simple JavaScript programs, then I'll get into basics of blockchain. If you can do JavaScript on your own, I can get into basics of blockchain and then jump onto Hyperledger right away. That will save, or that will give us more time.
So
Yeah.
okay, no problem. But main point कि मतलब क्या क्या हमें पढ़ना है JavaScript because I am new in the JavaScript so main focus कहाँ कहाँ मुझे रखना है क्योंकि थोड़ा सा मुझे बता दें.
Main focus, server side. So when you build JavaScript programs on Node, you have to.
मैं अभी आपको दिखा देता हूँ. मैं अभी क्या पढ़ रहा हूँ. एक मिनट में आपको दिखा देता हूँ.
हाँ, दिस इज़ गुड। अगर आप कोई बुक से पढ़ सकते हो दैट विल बी बेस्ट।
ओके।
उसका रीज़न ये है कि बुक इज़ मोर कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव दैन W3C या नोट जे एस के ट्यूटोरियल्स आपको node.js.com पे भी मिल जाएंगे। देर आर लॉट ऑफ ट्यूटोरियल्स। ट्यूटोरियल्स में ये होता है कि दे आर शॉर्ट, मतलब एक कॉन्सेप्ट के अराउंड एक एक पेज का आर्टिकल ऐसे, विच इज़ फाइन। अगर जल्दी जल्दी करना हो देन मेक सेंस। और अगर आपको एट लेंथ पूरा कॉन्सेप्ट समझना है तो एक नोट जे एस इन एक्शन करके बुक आती है। आई
क्या
कैन
चीज़ नोट?
नोट जे एस इन एक्शन,
ओके।
वो बुक मेरे पास आई थिंक होगी, मैं आपको फॉरवर्ड कर दूंगा वो।
अच्छा अच्छा।
बट ये है कि उसको पढ़ने में आप टाइम लग जाएगा।
अच्छा।
तो आप दो तरह से पढ़ सकते हो। आप एक तो ये वाला पढ़ते रहो, W3C इज़ सिंपल एंड ईजी टू अंडरस्टैंड।
हाँ।
और साथ साथ में आप धीरे धीरे वो नोट जे एस पेज बाय पेज वो बुक भी कंप्लीट करते रहो। बिकॉज जब आप जावास्क्रिप्ट में स्मार्ट कॉन्ट्रैक्ट्स लिखोगे तब आपको थोड़ा वो मतलब थोड़ा सा वो कॉम्प्लेक्स होगा, तो आपको वो तब तक शायद आप कॉन्सेप्ट बेटर समझ जाओ फ्रॉम द बुक।
हम्म।
ठीक है।
हम्म।
और जावास्क्रिप्ट में फिर ऐसा करते हैं,
हम्म।
व्हाट आई डू फ्रॉम टुमारो इज आई स्टार्ट ऑन बेसिक्स ऑफ ब्लॉकचेन। और जावास्क्रिप्ट में आपको कोई प्रॉब्लम हो ना तो आप मेरे को या तो इस डॉक्यूमेंट में डाल देना कि मैं ये चला रहा था और ये एरर आया,
हम्म।
या मुझे ये समझ नहीं आ रहा। ये जो मैंने आपको डॉक्यूमेंट वो जैसे ही मुझे मिलेगा मैं उसको सॉल्व करके फिर आपके साथ डिस्कस कर लूँगा कि ये ऐसे होगा। इससे फ़ायदा होगा कि हमारा जो टाइम है वो थोड़ा हाइपर लेजर के लिए हमारे पास ज़्यादा अवेलेबल हो जाएगा।
ओके।
और अगर मतलब नहीं समझ आ रहा देन वी कैन रिविजिट जावास्क्रिप्ट आल्सो, फिर हम डिटेल में जावास्क्रिप्ट कर लेंगे। अगर आपको ठीक लगता है तो आप मेरे को फिर कल से मैं मेरे पास बेसिक्स ऑफ ब्लॉकचेन, मतलब एक तो थोड़ा सा कॉन्सेप्चुअल है और उसके साथ थोड़ा कोड, मतलब स्मॉल स्मॉल प्रोग्राम्स ऑन इथेरियम जिसके लिए बहुत ज़्यादा अंडरस्टैंडिंग नहीं चाहिए, वो मैं स्टार्ट कर दूंगा। देन आप मतलब सीधा ब्लॉकचेन में जंप हो जाओगे।
ओके।
और आप वापस उसमें जाना नोड नोड वाले एनवायरनमेंट में।
इसमें नोट में
वर्चुअल बॉक्स
वर्चुअल बॉक्स में।
इसमें PWD करना।
PWD।
इसमें एक डायरेक्टरी बना लो आप, हाइपर लेजर। इसके अंदर एक डायरेक्टरी बना लो आप 1.4।
1 मैंने अभी आप देखें, मैंने एक डायरेक्टरी बनाया है पल्ले जो करके।
हाँ ये, हाँ ये स्लो है क्या?
हाँ,
इसमें एक डायरेक्टरी बना लो 1.4।
एक और डायरेक्टरी बना।
हाँ जी।
1.4 डायरेक्टरी।
मैं आपको चैट पर एक कमांड भेजता हूँ, वो इस पर होल्ड करो आप एक मिनट। अच्छा हाँ, नहीं मैं आपको पूरा डॉक्यूमेंट भेज देता हूँ। आपके पास चैट में एक डॉक्यूमेंट आया होगा और गूगल डॉक का लिंक। वही जिससे आपने स्क्रीन शेयर किया था वहाँ पर खुला होगा।
ये कहाँ पे है? आप मुझे मेल कर देंगे?
मैं मेल करता हूँ।
हाँ, मेल कर दीजिए।
आपने वो डॉक्यूमेंट खोला हुआ है
कौन सा?
जो मैंने आपको मॉर्निंग में भेजा था?
नहीं, अभी अभी तो मैंने नहीं खोला है, अभी नहीं खोल पाऊंगा।
मेल खुला हुआ है आपका?
हाँ, मेल तो खोला हुआ है मेरा, मैंने अभी पर वो देखा नहीं है।
अच्छा, आप मेल खोलो, उसमें मैंने वो एक और डॉक्यूमेंट का लिंक भेजा है। ये मैंने डॉक्यूमेंट बनाया हुआ है टू डिप्लॉय हाइपरलेजर। आपको अगर हाफ एन आवर मिले आज तो आप ये ट्राई करना, इसमें सारे स्टेप्स हैं।
दिस इज फॉर ये एक लिंक है आपका।
हाँ जी।
हम्म,
ये जो
ये मैंने कंपोजर प्लेग्राउंड वगैरह सब डाउनलोड किया हुआ है।
अच्छा, ये भी किया हुआ है। तो आपको फिर ये किस
लेकिन मुझे
डायरेक्टरी में?
इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा ये पढ़ना समझना था, ये क्यों हम इतना सारा कर रहे हैं, ये मुझे इसके बारे में थोड़ा सा कम, क्योंकि मेरे पास डॉक्यूमेंट था तो मैंने डॉक्यूमेंट करता रहा, वो तो मुझे उसके हिसाब से मैं करता रहा।
ओके। तो अच्छा, ओके, फिर ऐसा करते हैं। कंपोज़र, कंपोज़र तो वैसे अब यूज़ करना भी नहीं चाहिए। मतलब आपने ये वर्चुअल बॉक्स में इंस्टॉल्ड भी है ये सब?
हाँ, वर्चुअल बॉक्स में इंस्टॉल है, आप चेक कर सकते हैं। मैं इधर डॉकर है, और क्रिप्टो टूल्स करके तो नहीं, नोड है, सेल स्क्रिप्ट्स की है, गो लैंग उसके अंदर होगी कुछ एक, देखूँ क्या?
वो ऑलरेडी होगी गोलैंग, अगर आपने डॉक्यूमेंट से इंस्टॉल किया है तो गो टाइप करोगे आपको पता चल जाएगा।
एक मिनट चेक करूँ। वापस जाने के लिए कहाँ पे? सी डी।
सी डी स्पेस डॉट डॉट।
हाँ हाँ, स्पेस डॉट डॉट सी डी स्पेस।
नहीं, वो तो हर जगह अवेलेबल होगी गोलैंग।
मैं देखूँ गो लैंग।
गो, सिर्फ गो, एंटर।
गो।
गो भी है। आपने बिल्ड योर फर्स्ट नेटवर्क चलाया हुआ है? अच्छा, नॉट
या
इंस्टॉल्ड।
द प्रोग्राम गो इज नॉट इंस्टॉल, यू कैन इंस्टॉल बाय टाइपिंग sudo go lang गो लॉन्ग नहीं है इसमें, वही
ठीक है,
नोड है।
ठीक है। वो एक्चुअली हम अगर अभी डिप्लॉयमेंट में आ जाएंगे तो आप समझ नहीं पाओगे सारी चीज़। मैं तो ये सोच रहा था कि आपने ये सब कर लिया होगा तो वी कैन ट्राई इट। लेट्स नॉट डू दैट। मैंने आपको जो मेल खोलो आप फिर,
हम्म, हम्म,
इसमें जो आपने, आपको पहली वाली जो मेल है ना,
देखो मैंने की है ये।
इस डॉक्यूमेंट को खोलो, इसमें देखो आप एडिट कर सकते हो इसे।
हाँ, कर रहा हूँ।
राइट। इसमें मैंने डेट वाइज इसमें मैं एंट्री करता रहूँगा।
ओके।
एंड जो मैंने आपको कहा था कि कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आएगी वो भी आप इसमें डाल देना, सो दैट व्हेन आई सी इट ऑफलाइन मैं उसे सॉल्व करने की कोशिश कर लूँ। ठीक है। अभी हाइपर लेजर एक्चुअली दो तरह से चल सकता है। एक तो कंपोज़र से, विच इज़ व्हाट यू डन। कंपोज़र एक यूआई बना कर दे देता है।
हम्म,
एक आपको डॉकर से उसकी कॉन्फ़िगरेशन सेटअप करके चलाना पड़ता है, विच इज़ बेटर बिकॉज वो आपको फिर सब समझा देता है कि कैसे कैसे क्या क्या हुआ है।
ओके ओके
सो वी विल डू दैट, वी विल नॉट डू द कंपोज़र थिंग। कंपोज़र अब पुराना हो गया, उसे वो बंद भी कर रहे हैं हाइपर लेजर वाले।
ओके ओके।
तो एंड देन वील गेट टू दैट, मतलब उससे पहले वील हैव टू गो थ्रू सम बेसिक्स।
हम्म,
अब मैं ये सोच रहा हूँ कि नेक्स्ट क्लास में तो मतलब यूर ओके विद दिस राइट, जावास्क्रिप्ट आप पैरेलली करते रहोगे एंड देन वी
हाँ
कैन फोकस ऑन ब्लॉकचेन इंस्टेड, राइट?
अभी हाँ हाँ हाँ
ठीक है। तो मैं I'll start with the basics of blockchain. We still have around 10 minutes. Let's use them. आप स्क्रीन शेयर छोड़ दो, मैं अपनी स्क्रीन शेयर कर रहा हूँ।
ओके आप शेयरिंग राइट
आपको मेरा स्क्रीन दिख रहा है?
नहीं अभी तो नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे आपका स्क्रीन हाँ अभी आया अभी कुछ दिख रहा है
अब इसमें थोड़ा कॉन्सेप्चुअल है। ये डेक मैंने ENY के लिए बनाया था। इट हैज़ आई थिंक अराउंड 50 to 60 स्लाइड्स। विल नॉट गो थ्रू ईच वन ऑफ देम, मैं आपको डेक भेज दूंगा, बट आई वांट टू काइंड ऑफ फिनिश दिस ऑफ जिससे कॉन्सेप्ट सारे हम डिस्कस करके फिर एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिकल पे आ जाएं। इसमें देर आर 5 सेक्शंस। एक तो हिस्ट्री, मतलब व्हेन डिड ब्लॉकचेन स्टार्ट एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट। देन कुछ बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं। सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्सेप्ट ब्लॉकचेन में हैशेस होते हैं, वी विल फोकस ऑन दैट। देन वी विल बिल्ड आवर ओन ब्लॉकचेन, मतलब अपने आप हम, जैसे आप हाइपरलेजर पर काम कर रहे हो विच इज़ अ वेरी कॉम्प्लेक्स ब्लॉकचेन, and what we'll be working on in hyperledger is hyperledger fabric.
ओके
Fabric is the structure of blockchain that hyperledger has come up with, the community of hyperledger.
this is a framework ना
It's a framework, yeah. I mean, so it's actually a complete solution, not just framework. Framework होता है कि आप कुछ concept में चीज़ बना दो और थोड़ा सा उसे करके दिखा दो, but hyperledger is a complete end-to-end solution.
ओके
देन इसमें थोड़ा बिटकॉइन का डिस्कशन है, बिकॉज कोर blockchain system and the first one was Bitcoin, and then some discussion on how Bitcoin works. So um, blockchain technology is around 10 years old now. First serious blockchain came about in 2009 with
Satoshi Nakamoto
yeah, so he created a system of digital cash, and he built a software called Bitcoin Core, and he started the blockchain using that. By started, what he meant is he started adding transactions to that blockchain, and then first transaction was added on the Bitcoin blockchain in January of 2009. And since then, Bitcoin itself has become very popular. Plus, there are other platforms like Bitcoin that slightly different, not exactly like Bitcoin, but similar to Bitcoin, that came up to offer different types of digital cash or digital currency. So Bitcoin is actually a way to keep track of your balances. One, and second, keep track of transfer of balances. That is all that it does.
this is basically immutable ledger ना
Yeah. So when you say keep track, you can either keep track on like a copy, right? You can keep noting down things. You can keep track on Excel sheet, or you can keep track in a database. The problem with this keeping track is that you need to secure this, because Not everyone should be able to update it. अगर मैं if I own $500 worth of Bitcoin and anyone can change it, then the first thing that I will do is I will change that 500 to 5000
Okay.
without actually earning it.
Hmm.
So that means I can damage or corrupt that tracking system. So to avoid that tracking system, Bitcoin offered a sort of a database that by itself could not be corrupted or edited.
Okay.
It's not like someone had to uh, build some security. जैसे think of this as एक जैसे पुराने ज़माने में मुनीम होते थे and they had a big ledger book लाल कलर की.
हाँ जी, हाँ जी.
उस लेजर बुक को सिर्फ मुनीम चेंज कर सकता था, नो वन एल्स, राइट. और वो ट्रांजैक्शंस या अंगूठा वंगूठा लगा के वो अपने तिजोरी में रखता था उसे.
बिल्कुल.
दैट मीन्स दैट लेजर बुक हैड व्हाट इज कॉल्ड पेरिमीटर सिक्योरिटी.
ओके.
उसके सामने कोई या उसको उसके साथ कोई खड़ा रहना चाहिए जो जिससे कि उस पे कोई अपडेट करने से वो बची रहे गलत अपडेट से.
ओके.
The only difference between that ledger book and Bitcoin ledger book is that Bitcoin में किसी को खड़े होने की ज़रूरत नहीं है.
हम्म.
वो आप कहीं भी डाल दो, बिटकॉइन ओपन में पड़ा रहे, उसकी लेजर बुक किसी भी कंप्यूटर सिस्टम पे पड़ी रहे, वो डैमेज नहीं हो सकती.
हम्म.
इस इस डैमेज को अवॉइड करने के लिए जो लेट मी स्किप थ्रू दीज. उस डैमेज को अवॉइड करने के लिए जो टेक्निक यूज़ हुई है, one of those there are two techniques. One of them is on the blockchain itself and the other is how that blockchain is distributed or maintained. तो जो blockchain itself पर जो technique use हुई है, that is called hashes.
हम्म.
So let's try to understand what are hashes and then we'll go into how hashes are used to protect the blockchain. So hashing is a process. Very simple to understand. Hashing is a process.
हम्म.
So when you say there's a process, there has to be an input to the process and an output, right? So the hash process expects input in the form of alphanumeric strings or numbers and characters. It could be ABCD 1 2 3, it could be XYZ space slash dollar sign, whatever, right? It could also be binary data like a complete movie file,
Okay. Any type of data.
any type of data.
Okay.
It could be your Word document, it could be your PDF document, it could be simple text, maybe a book that you've written, anything.
हम्म. हम्म.
And the output of that hash process is a fixed length
हम्म.
hash. It's also called a digest. So in that screen that you're seeing, ABCD is my input, and once I process it through the hash, then my output is a 64 character length alphanumeric string. By alphanumeric, what I mean is it could have characters and numbers.
Yeah.
The important thing to understand about these hash functions is that they are very lenient in terms of what the input should be. Number one, what the input should be, and number two, what is the length of the input. I could either put something as simple as ABCDE,
हम्म.
or I could put something very short as a space,
हम्म.
or something as big as a 5 gigabyte movie. But the output will always be 64 character length alphanumeric string, always. So right now on the screen I cannot show you an entire movie file getting entered, but when you see things like downloading big software, you'll also see that right next to the software there's a SHA-2 hash.
हम्म.
So let me show you. So Apache server is a popular software. When I download it or when I go to its download, you see this source and then you see this SHA-256.
हम्म. What is this?
SHA-256 is the hash of this file.
Okay.
Now I'll tell you how and why this SHA-256 hash is there.
Hmm.
What happens is when you download a file,
Hmm.
let's say you're downloading a very big movie file,
Hmm.
then when you download it over the internet, which is a lossy network, it's possible that some part of the file may be lost in transit, maybe 1-2 bytes got lost.
Yes.
Or if it was some security sensitive data, then maybe someone
Hmm.
snooped and in the middle they replaced the file with something else as the file got downloaded from
Hmm.
one router to the other and then to your machine.
Hmm.
So what they say is that this hash is going to tell you that whether your downloaded file is damaged or corrupted in any way or not.
Hmm.
Now I'll tell you how that is done.
Hmm.
So let's go back to our discussion earlier around hashes. So one condition that we saw in the hashes is that it will always give fixed length output.
64 character only.
64 character is one type of hash. There are other hashes that give shorter output, some other hashes that give. So that process it depends on the process what your output length is going to be, but it will always be the same for one process type.
Okay.
So the process hash that we saw for Apache was SHA-256, which is a particular kind of algorithm or process. There are a lot of other types as well.
Other types of hashes also.
Yes.
So what is the difference between all these?
So the way to calculate the hash is through a process of flipping the bits and bytes in the input data. How you flip that bit and byte, by flipping I mean you divide all the inputs into blocks and then change those blocks, alternate bits, remove some bits, add more bits, do things like that. So this algorithm of this entire processing is what differentiates one hash from the other. The SHA-256 hash that you saw, it breaks down the hash into four input into 4 byte sets, and then it calculates 2's complement. You know what 2's complement is, right? In
Two's
binary.
complement?
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
Okay. So each character is a set of bits and zeros and ones. Okay.
Yes. I know.
It's called binaries.
Yes.
So 2's complement is a process in which you flip all the zeros to ones and ones to zeros and then add 1 to the entire binary output that you get. So I'll not go in depth. It's actually not very relevant to our discussion. But basically what you're supposed to understand is
Hmm.
that when you want to implement a hash process or a hash algorithm,
Hmm.
then your input needs to be changed in some ways so
Hmm.
that it follows a very important condition that the output will always be of the same length.
Okay.
And that's a very complex thing to do because you have to basically filter out a lot of data and then make sure that the output is always of the same length.
Hmm.
So that's one part where your input data is very big. If your data is smaller than 1 byte,
Hmm.
then also there's a challenge. You have to do some bit manipulation so that that one also gives you an output of 64 length. So it's very complex to understand. What they do is play around with bits and bytes of the input data, remove some bytes, uh, filter some bytes away, add more bytes, and then squeeze it. So they do a lot of things. Um, Actually, hashes is a very is like a very well researched topic in cryptography.
Okay.
So with blockchains, the good thing is you don't have to understand what's happening inside the hash. What you just have to understand are these 4 properties of a hash.
Okay.
So you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
Uh, the first important thing is that hashes should be efficient to calculate. I mean, let's say if you want to calculate hash of 1 gigabyte data, then it should not take me more than 4 or 5 seconds.
Okay. So it's 4 5 seconds.
Yeah. On a reasonably good computer. So obviously it can also be done on paper, in which case it might take you a whole day to do it. But when you do it automatically on a computer which is powerful enough like your laptop, then it should not take very long time.
Okay.
So first condition is should be efficient. Second is it should be deterministic. Now this is important. Deterministic means that if I calculate the hash of ABCDE,
Mm.
I get some output, and then maybe after 10 minutes I again use the same process and calculate the hash of ABCDE. I should get the same output. That means determinism. So it should always be same for same input. Then it should be pre-image resistant. Pre-image resistant means that there should not be any output to any two sets of outputs for which inputs for which the output is the same.
Mm.
So sorry, that's collision resistance. Basically, um, two inputs. Let's say if I have input like A B C D E and I have input like 1 2 3 4 5, then they should always give me two different hashes, or there should never be a case that I have two different inputs and I get the same hash. And then pre-image resistance is that, let's say you have the hash of some input, right? Then there should not be any easy way for you to go back to the input. Let's say this was my hash for ABCDE, the F0393. Now if I give you this F0393, then you should not have any way to find out that this was the hash of ABCDE just by looking at this output.
This is the immutable.
No, so that's not what immutability is. Here it is, you cannot reverse engineer it. So if I say that my output hash is 36A97F1 blah 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 blah, and I give it to you, you don't know from which input I calculated it, right? Then you should technically not have any way to get that input. Now the hash that I have for space is this 369 blah blah, right? So if I give you this 369, unless I tell you that I calculated it from a space character, you should not be able to guess that just by looking at this output hash. That's what it means. So basically hash is a process of just jumbling the input, right? Now you said what other types of hashes are there. The most popular ones are SHA-2 and SHA-3. SHA-2 is SHA-256, SHA-3 is elliptic curve hashes. There is something called RipMed. Then there is called MD5, one called MD5, which is a very old hash. There's one called Blake 2. We'll not go into what each one of them does, but at a very high level, that's what they do. They specify a process in which there's an input that gets converted to an output, which has all of these four properties.
Okay, my question is that we use the SHA-256 hash.
Right.
So how can we decide which one is used for the specific blockchain or some, like you are told that there is a byte 1 or 2. Hello?
Yeah. So you don't decide. Let's say if you are creating a Bitcoin blockchain, right? Then when setting up that blockchain specification, you pick up any hash, and it depends on how strong the hash is.
Mm.
So when Bitcoin blockchain was being built, SHA-3, SHA-2 was the most strong hash. By strong, I mean all these properties were very well implemented, all the four properties
Okay.
in SHA-2. So they decided to use SHA-2.
Okay.
So you can pick up, all of these are open source hashes. You can pick up any one of them to build your blockchain. but once you've built, you cannot change. So right now Bitcoin is running SHA-2, and they are saying that SHA-2 will break in future. By break, what I mean is one of those four properties may be, compromised. It's possible to find another input which gives the same hash,
Okay.
or you can probably reverse engineer SHA-2. Not now, but maybe 30 years from now. When
So how is it possible? You told me that reverse back is not possible.
Yeah, so it's not possible technically, but it's possible by brute force. Brute force, you know what that means, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brute force is when you keep guessing until you arrive at the answer.
Okay.
So today, if I want to guess your online banking password,
Hmm.
um, what I would have to do is type,
Hmm.
try 1 million passwords on your online bank. Go there and type ABCD, ABCDEF. Keep trying 1 million times, and then probably
Hmm.
I will get your right password. But before that, I will be logged out. That's a separate story.
Okay.
But in Bitcoin, you will never be logged out, so you can keep trying. But with SHA-2, what happens is that the number of tries you have to make before you reach the actual output, actual input, is billions upon billions. It's going to take you ages to calculate, maybe 500 600 years to calculate one reverse SHA-2 hash.
Hmm.
But with quantum computing, it's possible that that time can be shortened.
Acha.
So when we say that um, with quantum computing some cryptography is going to become unsafe, what we mean is that processing will become so fast that something that would take thousands of years to do can be done within 1 or 2 years.
So then the concept of whole blockchain is will be मतलब खत्म ही हो जाएगा ब्लॉकचेन का जो कंसेप्ट है फिर तो मतलब आएगा नहीं जो मतलब आप अभी बता रहे कि हम रिवर्स और पूरा चीज़ों से क्वांटम टेक्नोलॉजी हो जाएगा.
Oh, so there are a couple of issues that are still there. Quantum is still theoretical. It may not be successful at all. That's one.
Hmm.
And then even if it's successful, if you reverse engineer one SHA hash,
Hmm.
the amount of money you'll make may be less than the effort that you'll put into reverse engineer. If I want to set up quantum computer today,
Hmm.
that means I will spend at least a couple of $1 million, right?
Hmm.
Now, if I spend that much money and I just get 5 or 6 bitcoins by reverse engineering one address,
Hmm.
then it doesn't make sense, because the effort that I put is far, far outstripping the benefit that I get. So that is why it's still okay, but maybe sometime in future it might not be okay.
Hmm.
So that's the whole story. Now let me just, I'll close today. We are
Hmm.
almost done with 1 hour. Um, when when those four conditions are satisfied, then what happens is um, that when you download something like that Apache file,
Hmm.
1 second, then it's possible that that file might get damaged or might get corrupted or maybe replaced by some other file during download.
Hmm.
Now, why do they publish that SHA-256 hash is because once you download that file,
Hmm.
just to ensure that you have the right file and there is no damage, you calculate its hash,
Okay.
and you match that hash with the hash that is there on the website.
Hmm.
So basically what you do is, let's say you downloaded that file. Where is that gone? Let's say you downloaded this file. It's like 500 MBs file.
Hmm.
Once it's available on your computer, you create the SHA-256 hash of that file through some
Hmm.
software, and then you compare it with this hash that they have published.
Okay.
Now if there was any change in this file, while download, then my file will give me a different hash, because as I said, no two files or no two inputs can give me same output. That means if the hashes match, which means the files also match. This is the whole reason behind using SHA-256 hashes or any hash during downloads. You will see this scheme in a lot of places where there are downloads being done for large files. And this is the feature that we'll also use in blockchains. And in next class, I'll explain you how that is done. So you have understood till now what we were talking about in hashes, right? So tomorrow let's meet at 8 o'clock and I will continue this discussion. Meanwhile, see if you can progress more on JavaScript. If you get any issues, just put it in that document. I will open that document tonight and see if there are any issues there. I will try to solve them and we can discuss them tomorrow. And I have recorded this session. I'll send you the recording as soon as we are done. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, we will meet tomorrow at 8 AM.
Sure.
Okay.
Bye.